Welcome back to Same But Different, and welcome back to Black History Month, where we are celebrating Black voices and Black excellence within the film and media community and industry. And the way we do that here on this channel is watch those kinds of movies. This week, we had the honor of watching American Fiction, an Oscar-nominated movie for Best Picture and Best Actor for Jeffrey Wright.
It has 5 Oscar nominations. I didn't look into what the other ones are.
Oh, okay.
But crazy.
Okay. Well, let's see if our reviews line up with its Oscar nominations buzz.
Well, I liked it.
All right. Okay, my turn.
Okay, good. What a flick. What a movie. You know what's cool about this movie is from the very opening scene, it let you in and told you immediately what direction it was going to take with the satirical point of view. And then kind of surprised you later by having so much depth outside of that as well. Like, this movie was hilarious.
That's the funniest damn thing I've ever heard!
But it wasn't only sharp satirical humor. After about 30 minutes into the movie, maybe a little bit less, it hits you with a whammy. And you're like, oh shit, this movie is deeply emotional and tragic as well. That's just dark comedy done right, because that's what this movie was. It was a dark, satirical dramedy. And it hit all 3 of those points perfectly. Perfect. I didn't expect it to give us this amazing main storyline and then also so much going on in his own personal life. Like, we have the plot of this movie and then you just have his life, and they're 2 separate entities that just work so well together. And that was really, really cool to see. I'm sure movies do it all the time, but it really stood out in this one.
I think there's an argument to be made that, not that I think this, but I'm just saying an argument could be made that the main storyline is the family stuff and the stuff about the book is lesser of a plot. You know what I mean? Like, it can flip back and forth. That's how well I think both stories were told.
Yes, I just think at the end of the day, the synopsis of this movie is the book he's writing and his black voice being muted it was so fascinating, the plot and how they went about this. Jeffrey Wright did such a good job. I mean, I've seen him around. I've never really known him as this like extraordinary actor. I don't know. I should have looked at his filmography before. I know who he was. I knowed who he was.
That you could.
You're reading from his book now.
Oh no. That's just me butt fumbling around. Such a captivating performance. It was so fun watching him react to all the bizarre and frustrating things going on around him, whether it was outward emotion or these micro expressions, but you could always see exactly what he was thinking, and that is amazing acting. And everyone did a good job in this movie. I'm not going to go through and list every character because everyone else did a good job, but you gotta give it up to this leading man because he deserves the praise.
Yes.
It's also so rare, and I'm sure there's examples, and Ari Aster is coming to mind immediately, but it's so rare to see a filmmaker get everything right on their very first attempt.
This is a debut.
Yeah, buddy.
And it's 5-time Oscar nominated?
Yeah, buddy. And it is that good. That just blows my mind. It was so fascinating to watch a man frustrated about how all the famous black authors are writing about black voices, and it's like black people can only write about the struggle of being black. Despite his best efforts and his frustration with that, he just has to accept it because that's what sells. And that turmoil to watch in that man's brain, from hating it, from growing more and more frustrated to the point of absolute lunacy, and them still accepting it. Like when he's like, I want to name it fuck. That whole conversation he had with those 2 white bread folk from the Hampton Hills or whatever they said, I don't know, was so funny. Like, he was literally trying so hard to not get this book made, and they loved it more and more.
Well, he said that at one point. He's like, the more dumb I get with this, the more money I end up making.
Yeah.
How is this happening?
Yeah. And in the room when they were voting on the books, and like only the white people were talking about how pivotal and moving that book is, and oh my God. The movie did such a good job edging.
That's That's what she said.
The fourth wall without ever like shattering it. There were so many little things that were like when he was writing his novel for the first time and you got to see what he was writing play out, or the end where like they went through a bunch of alternate endings. It played with that fourth wall, but it's not like he looked at the camera and said, "This is crazy," right? You know, this movie was so smart because the people were smart, not because it was trying to be or it was supposed to be. It's just that the characters in it, especially Monk, were smart. You know what? I'm giving this movie 10. If I've sat here for 36 hours or whatever, not being able to figure out why it's not a perfect 10, but I liked everything about it and have zero gripes and was floored by it, I don't care that I just gave a movie a 10 out of 10. I'm giving this one a 10 out of 10. Fuck it.
The Holdovers, yeah, just gave me that more of an emotional gut punch. Not gut punch, but just like warm, fuzzy feeling.
Okay.
Where this one, although it handed out warm, fuzzy feelings once in a while, it just wasn't as potent. It wasn't as strong. But everything else, what you said, incredible. Such a good movie.
So good.
I really, really enjoyed my time with this movie. Yeah, Jeffrey Wright just acted the shit out of this. I just want to draw attention to Sterling K. Brown as well. Someone who I mostly know from TV, to be honest. I rarely see him popping up in a movie. Complicated character and had that one conversation with our main character that really like challenged his thought processes, and it was really good in that regard. The brother relationship they had was crazy good. They could hate each other but still play around with each other in the pool, you know? Out of the gate, we know what we're in for. He's bringing up Black American history in class, and a white kid is offended for some reason. And he basically tells her to get the fuck out.
Yeah, and right then and there, I knew I was going to love this movie. It was so funny.
Yeah, it had me laughing, and it's smart laughter. None of it's dumb. None of it's stupid. It's just super intelligent, dark, fun humor.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be his friend and talk with him about things.
Can we please be friends?
And yeah, the script was super intelligent as well. Issa Rae did a good job for the limited time she had on screen, and she had one of the best lines, and I'm gonna butcher this. I'm gonna paraphrase it. But at the end, she said something about when you say something has potential, you're basically saying it wasn't good enough. And she's talking about the race, like black people as a race, because he mentioned black people as a race. There's so much potential in the world, and she's like, well, when you say something has potential, you're saying it's not good enough.
Yeah.
And that was so good.
And it was so important to know he can view things incorrectly as well, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And to have her be the one to point that out to him, the one that he's kind of been butting heads with and has been jealous and envious of this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. Absolutely go see this movie if you can. Watch it any way you can, because it's very good. And by the end of it, I was like, I don't know what I want to win Best Picture anymore.
That's amazing.
I just don't know. This is the first time in an Oscar race in a long time where I'm just like, I don't know. Anyone could win and I'd be okay with it. But at the same time, I'd be upset about anyone losing. I gave this a solid 9 out of 10.
Nice. Hell yeah. I don't know how anyone couldn't like it.
Racists will not like this movie.
Okay, sure. I don't know how any level-headed person couldn't like this movie.
If you've seen the movie, please let us know what you thought about the movie below. And if you haven't seen it, go out, watch the movie, come back, and then tell us. Because we love talking about movies and we want to hear your opinions. Black History Month is not over.
It doesn't over till it's over.
It is still going very strong. We've only watched the 2 movies, but both have been quite good. And we're going into next week with, it is the new One Love movie that's about Bob Marley's life. Bob Marley, One Love, go watch it, come back, let's talk about it. And in the meantime, if you like talking movies or film or media or entertainment or anything in that regard, subscribe to our channel, like the video, share with your friends. We want to grow this community and just have an amazing time with movies. So do that.
Everything's a movie.
What?
I don't know. How does that make sense?
I don't give a shit.